All right, I'm just going for a little walk. So I wanted to actually talk about massage therapy today. So I had two clients. One of the clients actually came in, had a lower back pain. So this is actually a really common one, is lower back pain. So back is pretty common in general. So you got the rhomboids area, you'll find a lot of trigger points there. But anyways, this client came in, lower back pain. He said he had a hard time putting on his socks, bending over to put on his socks. So, I mean, that's pretty severe. So I asked him about his occupation, their physical job. I don't give too much details, patient confidentiality, but no names. But he had a hard time putting on socks, physical job, and yeah, he just wanted to see if we could do something about it. So anyways, I go and I do deep tissue massage with him, focusing on those areas that he needs, and I find a whole bunch of other trigger points. So this guy, I asked him how often you get massaged. He said, I never get massaged unless he's on vacation, unless he's in Mexico, whatever. So here he is with the back pain, tons of trigger points. So I'm working through them. Old trigger points, you cannot get rid of them in the first session. New trigger points, sometimes you'll do it in the first session, gone. So he can't even put on his socks, so you can see how debilitating these knots are. I've had knots in my arms. I could do tons of pull-ups, but I had a knot in my arm and I literally couldn't do one. So you can see that how these knots actually affect you. So it's so important that you remove these knots on a regular. There was another client that I worked with, I'm gonna, as an example here, came in and he looked like he's physically active. And he's like, okay, deep tissue. And I'm like, deep tissue everywhere? And he's like, yeah, deep tissue everywhere. And I'm like, okay, he probably wants to fix his knots. I'm like, I'm gonna find so many knots on this guy. Guess what? I found 0 knots on this guy. And you know what I find out? He's also a regular for massage. So it's interesting. If you want to keep your mobility, you want to keep your strength, you want to keep all of that functionality, human functionality, right? So, I mean, you don't want to be at a point where these knots actually catch up to you, because they do get tighter, they do reduce blood flow and nutrients to the muscle. Oxygenation is reduced to the muscle. So you want to get those treated. Ideally, once a week. So anyways, you can guys find me, Chestermere Massage Addict, or book me, just DM. All right, see you later.